Alright, Ronan MMA, welcome back to the channel. This video was requested by somebody in my comments section. We're going to talk about how Valentina Shevchenko is slightly delusional about her loss to Alexa Grasso and how that can affect her moving forward and how that affects champions in general. I was literally going to do a video on Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya, and it's kind of the same song and dance between those two former champions there. So we're going to talk about that and the comments she made in her interview with Ariel Helwani. But before we do, please like and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it, dude. The channel growth has slowed down, so I'm going to thank you in advance once again. We're doing that once again, okay? I will thank you in advance for your subscription because I'm Canadian, and we're polite, so we do things like that. So don't be the kind of person that doesn't do the thing that they've already been thanked for. Now we're going to get right into it. Okay, so Shevchenko was doing an interview with Ariel Helwani where, he was asking her questions about how she thinks the fight went and things like that. And before we talk about the comment about Jason Herzog, I want to bring up another thing that I noticed. I don't like when champions are unable to acknowledge that they, in fact, made mistakes during a fight. She had mentioned that she had seen some criticism online about how she shouldn't have thrown the spinning back kick, and she said, I don't understand those criticisms, like, why would I not throw that? It's a very powerful kick, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, for me, the criticism doesn't lie with you throwing the kick. The criticism lies with when you chose to throw the kick and how you chose to throw the kick. Okay, so she was backed up against the fence. They were in punching range. They were close enough that as soon as she spun, Alex Grasso was able to take her back. Or Alexa Grasso. Oh, Jesus, what? I just turned her into a dude, okay? Alexa Grasso was able to take her back. That's how close she was. If she was at legitimate kicking range, I don't think that Grasso would have been able to jump on the back the way that she did, as quickly as she did, and, gain the dominant position and then eventually choking her out. Not only that, she threw it naked. So it's like when Dominic Reyes will throw a leg kick in the pocket and not expect to get countered with like a right hand or something. It's like, dude, you're in punching range. Don't be throwing naked leg kicks when you're in punching range, okay? But don't be throwing a spinning back kick when you are up against the fence and you're in punching range with your opponent. Like, that's the problem. And she didn't set it up. It was completely naked. She just threw it. And we're in the fourth round after a first round where Alexa Grasso very well could have gotten the edge, and then 2 rounds after that where, Valentina had to do a lot of grappling in order to secure those rounds, and, so there's not the same amount of pop on her spinning back kick as there would be in the first round, or there's not even the same amount of pop as there would be if they were in a 4-round fight where she's been striking the entire time, right? She was having issues with Alexa Grasso. I don't understand how she can view this in her mind as she was completely dominant up until that point, and the only reason that series of events took place was because Jason Herzog decided to stand them up from the ground there. Now, I did think that the stand-up was a little odd at the time. I thought, well, whatever. I don't know. Some stand-ups I feel are like warranted. You can really tell like when a guy's just holding up against the cage, and he doesn't want to engage in fighting really. But Valentina Shevchenko was clearly using that as her game plan, and she was landing punches. The punch that she landed after he tried to separate them or during was a little weird too. I genuinely think there was some confusion there. I think she had heard him telling... Whoop, my hair is stuck to my finger. I think she had heard Herzog telling her, you need to work. So she went to go throw a punch, but right when she did, they were separate. It was a weird situation. I don't think she meant to do it on purpose, but she wasn't really doing a whole lot. And also, the back take didn't happen like 1 or 2 seconds after. You know what I mean? Like, they were separated for a little bit before that had happened. So it's weird that you would go and not criticize yourself on how and when you decided to throw that spinning back kick, but you're willing to criticize Jason Herzog for separating you, a minute, 30, I don't remember exactly how long it was. I haven't watched the fight since, immediately after that event, but, so one thing that I will give Kamaru Usman credit for is in that second fight when Leon Edwards head kicked him dead, he didn't complain and say that the reason he got head kicked was because, who was the referee in that fight? Mark Goddard, maybe? I can't remember. But whoever it was that separated them, when Usman had him up against the cage and Joe Rogan and DC were complaining about it, even though Usman was not really doing anything. He was trying to stall out that last round because he knew that he had won rounds 2 through 4. And they get separated, and pretty shortly thereafter, maybe within a minute or so, Leon Edwards head kicks him dead. And that was never a thing that Usman was complaining about. He was never complaining, well, the referee separated me, that's why I got head kicked. No, he kept saying it's because I didn't have my hands up, right? So he took accountability. Yeah, he caught me with a good shot. Now, he didn't know exactly why. He said that he didn't have his hands up, but he also wasn't mentioning that he slips way too hard to his right side when somebody shows him a straight punch. But still, he's not blaming the referee. Okay, Valentina Shevchenko puts all this on Jason Herzog, and now I'm gonna say this also. From what I heard, like people talking about it and seeing videos and stuff like that, I thought that she was way more salty when she kind of said it in passing. If we're being honest, she kind of just said it in passing. The part that I think is delusional is her saying that she was completely dominant and dominating that fight up until that point. To me, that's the worst part. I can see a fighter complaining about getting stood up when their game plan is to be grappling heavy. But if you look at the round by round stats, she wasn't dominating as badly as she thinks she was, right? Round 1 could have kind of maybe gone either way. The total strike numbers were in favor of Alexa Grasso, 32-26. And the significant strike stats were in favor of Valentina Shevchenko by 2, 24-26. So also Valentina was landing at a much more accurate rate there. But, if you want to count the 6 extra total strikes as opposed to her being up 2 on the significant, that's fine. If you want to give round 1 to Alexa Grasso, I think when I watched it live, I actually gave round 1 to Alexa Grasso. The thing is, those significant strikes, you're not counting jabs, and Alexa Grasso's got a fucking mean jab, dude. She's got a really nice jab, and that was part of her game plan. It was working behind her jab. She's, you know what I mean? She's got a very boxing heavy attack. Round 1, I would probably give it to Alexa Grasso. I would have to go back and rewatch it, but going based off of my memory and, when I first watched it, I gave it to Alexa Grasso. The following 2 rounds, dude, a little different. Right? Valentina obviously got the takedowns and had some control time. She had 3 minutes of control time in round number 2. Significant strikes were 12-7 in favor of Valentina. But the total strikes, and now I'm wondering if this is like they're tallying it up. Yeah, I think it is. Why would they do it like that? That is so silly. 56 of 68. And then, dude, 60 of 89. So it's saying that Alexa Grasso landed more strikes overall once again in round number 2, but Valentina had the more significant strikes and had the 3 minutes of control time and effective grappling. Dude, also the thing is too, she's so used to being able to totally dominate girls on the ground. I think she's losing her mind a little bit. She on multiple occasions got to her, or almost got to her, famous crucifix position, which largely speaking is the beginning of the end for the vast majority of her opponents. Once she gets you there, girls are kind of fucked. They don't know how to get out of it, and she just starts landing elbows like crazy. Round number 3 is a little bit of the same, a little bit less control time though. She had 2 minutes 22 seconds of control time. Significant strikes in favor of her once again, 27-15. Now that's a much bigger margin than round number 2. But even again on the total strikes, we're looking at 53-70 in favor of Alexa Grasso. So dude, if somebody's got a mean jab, it is very unfortunate that doesn't count as a significant strike, because the thing is too, is a little leg kick that helps you find range, like what Volkanovski does, those little tapping leg kicks where it's just kind of like toes to just a little tap like that. That would count as a significant strike, whereas a jab of somebody popping you over and over and over and over again in the same place does not. It's a little strange, but you know what I mean, dude. There's guys that drop people with jabs. How is that not a significant strike? But Still, she had to implement grappling. Alexa Grasso was beating her on the feet for the most part, dude. She was countering her with very slick shots. She had beautiful combinations. She was throwing more kicks than I anticipated she would as well, Alexa Grasso, that is. And Valentina was throwing less kicks than I anticipated she was. And then when she decided to finally throw one of her best kicks, she does it at the worst possible time, which doesn't show like a lack of technique, but it's kind of a lack of fight IQ. Like, you need to be aware of where you are in the cage. One, you need to set up your shots. Two, you should know that, okay? You're Valentina Shevchenko. You're like a Muay Thai champion. You should definitely know to set up your shots. And also, it's just like, dude, you can't do that. I don't get it. Round number 4, 22-13 in significant strikes, but and the total strike count was much less as well for Alexa Grasso this time around. 32 of 20, with Valentina Shevchenko having no control time, which is quite strange because she definitely did have control time in round number 4 because they got separated, right? But whatever. I don't understand how I don't know if she's looked at the statistics or what, but if you look at this, there's no way you can come to the conclusion that you were completely dominating that fight, especially when in 3 of the rounds she outlanded you on total strikes, right? Like, you may have landed more significant strikes, but again, dude, Alexa Grasso's jab it's causing damage, and it's frustrating that I don't like when champions won't acknowledge that they did something wrong. Like, she's viewing this as like she got lucky, kind of, is what it seems like. She made a comment about how, oh, I wanted to fight in June or July. That might not be possible because Alexa Grasso wants to shine for the cameras as long as she possibly can. And it's like, dude, you got finished. And this wasn't like, Ariel tried to kind of equate it to the Amanda Nunes-Juliana Pena fight, and there's some major differences in that. Amanda Nunes gassed herself out, right, and started throwing shots like she was swimming through the air while running down a hill, as well as Juliana Pena doing that too, but apparently Juliana Pena's swimming while running down a hill's strikes are much more effective than Amanda Nunes's. But Amanda Nunes gassed herself out and then got strangled. Pardon me, my nose just fucked up there. Valentina Shevchenko was not gassed out. She wasn't. She made a fucking error, and she's not willing to acknowledge it. This drives me crazy because it's a horrible mentality to have. How are you supposed to make improvements if you are not willing to acknowledge the holes in your game? Clearly, that was a hole that they saw in your game. You throw that kick, you have a very nice spinning back kick, but maybe sometimes you don't set it up well enough. Maybe sometimes you throw it within punching range, and her coaches picked up on that, and they fucking drilled it, dude. This wasn't like a lucky moment. They drilled that shit. And, there are ways that you could have thrown that kick that would not have led to that, right? Man, it's unfortunate, dude. And also, like, I get that Jason Herzog obviously makes mistakes. I mean, every referee does. You're bound to. Everybody makes mistakes at their job. The problem is that referees, when they make mistakes, the stakes, well, Jesus, dude, that was confusing. When referees make errors, the stakes are much higher than, like, if you work at a fucking production plant or something. You know what I mean? Because you're subjected to an insane amount of scrutiny, because it's not just the fighters, the promoters, the whatever, it's the fans, and they're fucking ruthless. Jason Herzog, in my opinion, is one of the best referees that there is, and sometimes I like that he's quick to separate or stand people up, and sometimes I think he should probably let them go a little longer. It's all obviously dependent on what is going on at the time. Valentina Shevchenko wasn't doing much. She was in full guard. You know what I mean? She was not doing much. And it wasn't like the rounds before. If he was separating them when she's trying to get to crucifix and shit like that, I would be like, yeah, that's fucked up. But she wasn't doing much. They're in full guard, which technically isn't like a dominant position for either or. You're each controlling 50% of one person's body, right? So obviously you want to be on top for gravity's sake and shit like that, and you have more momentum, but She's got control of your lower half. You've got control of her upper half. That's how it goes. Okay. And, man, I hope that she is just trying to act confident and, like, going kind of... Chael Sonnen kept saying Valentina Shevchenko should go full heel. Maybe this is her attempt at going full heel. Like, she's just acting like, nah, fuck it, whatever. But, man, I think that this is more indicative of we're seeing Valentina Shevchenko slip. Like, she also got asked about what age she would think about retiring, and she said, well, Holly Holm kind of answered all those questions for her. And while Holly Holm, did look great at 41 years old, we don't know whether or not she is still championship material. Like, I would like to see her get another shot at the belt maybe, because I think Amanda's kind of slipping too. But we've seen her, like, not progress. What's the fucking regress, dude? Had a moment there. We've seen her regress. And it's either she's regressing or the girls in the 125-pound division are seriously progressing. But I kind of highly doubt that, with all due respect to the girls at 125 pounds. But Tyler Santos, you know, very close fight with her. Accidental clash of heads is probably what caused the momentum to shift, which is very unfortunate. She very well could have ended up winning that fight. There are still people out there that think that she did win that fight. There was another lady that she had a close fight with, Jennifer Maia, who we saw look fantastic and make very much. She made a lot of improvements on her striking. Okay. And so these girls are closing the gap, dude. And, you know, she's still able to look dominant against someone like fucking Caitlin Chukagian, who... You know what I mean, dude? Not great. But I don't think it's... Like, what could she fucking... The ref, eh? Yeah, the ref. So many people do that shit. It's annoying. Own up to your mistakes. Fix them. Okay? And acknowledge... Well, you have to acknowledge them before you can fix them, but... You made a mistake. Point blank, period. And now you're being salty about it and saying that it's the referee's fault for separating you from full guard when you weren't doing much. Alexa Grasso was giving her troubles everywhere. She's going to have to make serious improvements. And if her mentality remains this way, I might pick Alexa Grasso going forward. I think that what she needs to do in order to have a successful game plan against Alexa Grasso is throw more kicks from range, which I said she would do in my prediction video, my detailed prediction video. I thought she would, because why the fuck wouldn't you? Okay? Throw body kicks. Alexa Grasso is susceptible to body kicks from time to time. She has a very high guard. She keeps her elbow, like, she's very high guard. Valentina Shevchenko has mean body kicks, especially from her southpaw stance. She didn't throw fucking one of them. And then she goes, oh, I'm going to throw a spinning back kick now when I'm back up against fence. And she's fucking 2 feet away from me. What? Dude, don't do that, okay? Acknowledge your mistakes. Move on. Don't blame the referee. Jason Herzog's one of the best in the business. Fuck off, okay? I'm wondering if... there was another thing she said that was weird, too. She said she got cut. Or she had a cut. But that the doctors told her it was from a fingernail. I'm going to have to go back and watch that, but I don't know. I feel like... I mean, if the doctors told her that, why would she make it up? But still, doesn't matter, dude. You took damage. You were losing on the feet, which is why you decided you had to go to the grappling. Pardon me. You're like a fucking multiple time Muay Thai champion, and you had to take this girl to the ground, and you weren't even able to do what you normally can do to girls on the ground. So I think that if she doesn't change her attitude, okay, real quick, she's gonna be fucked in the rematch. And that'll be crazy if Alexa Grasso can get her 2 times in a row. So, those are my thoughts on this. Sorry if it was a little bit jumbled. But I've got a lot of opinions on this shit, man. And I was very frustrated with her performance at the time. And I'm frustrated with how she views her performance now. And I don't think it's healthy for champions to never acknowledge their mistakes. So, that's the end of this video. Like and subscribe. Again, I'll thank you in advance. Greatly appreciate it. All right? Okay? Have a good day, and I will see you at the next video. Bye-bye.